Hi, thanks for checking out my vid. My name's Andrew Thompson, or Xay Tomsen if you know me in InWorldz or Second Life. Um, Today I'm checking out some vehicles. There hasn't been a lot of hype about it, strangely, how the LSL compatibility has hit InWorldz, and I just thought I'd introduce people to it and see what's happening after I think it's been enabled for about 3 weeks or so. I'm not employed or associated with InWorldz in any way. I'm just a content creator and land developer. So we're starting off here with this is one of my amphibious vehicles. It's called an Anzac. As you can tell, it's a string of islands. Kanji is the name of the continent that I have in InWorldz. There's 17 regions, so the amphibious vehicles are quite popular here. Shooting the video for this section is my passenger Jenny, and we're just going to have a quick look at region crossings and things like that. This sim that we're in is Lagoon d'Or, and I've probably pronounced that wrong, but yes, we're headed over now to the purpose-built testing ground, I suppose you'd call it. It's a bit of a rally track on Octane Island, which is a new sim I've just brought online in the last few days. Now this vehicle, so you understand why we're pausing and starting sort of randomly. It's manually controlled, whether it's in boat mode or four-wheel drive mode. We're about to cross a sim crossing now, and you'll see the bum dip down. No, well that went quite well. You'll see the orange cloud of dust there. That's where my avatar disappeared for a moment, which is pretty standard on all virtual worlds. I must say it's only been out for a few weeks, but it's a lot better than I thought it would be. Especially the region crossings. Now, what you have to bear in mind with this vehicle, it has 11 scripts in it. Also myself and a passenger, and we've got attachments like animation overriders and various body bits and glasses with bling and all that sort of thing. So all of this, every time you cross a region crossing, is having an impact on the performance, and really the lag is negligible. It's easily comparable to Second Life or any other grid that I've been on in my experience in the last few weeks since setting these scripts and vehicles up. So you'll see scattered around the ground here are coconuts and beach balls. They're physical objects, just so we can watch how the vehicle interacts with physical objects. We're going to head out on the highway now, onto a bit of bitumen. This, again, you just saw that little bump as we crossed the sim edge back into Lagoon d'Or. Now this stretch of highway that we're coming across now up the hill, we're about to cross another sim edge into Boyo Island, I think it is, off the top of my head. Yes, and you'll see the front wheel there is just locked up a little bit, and it comes good again. That again, pretty negligible. This is, in case you haven't worked it out, I'm doing voiceover after the event, not while I'm driving. But this first stretch here is probably one of the worst areas because I'm a lousy driver and we've got a lot of sim edges. This is another one, and bang crunch, that was my bad driving, and now we hit a sim edge. Back tyre slips down for a moment, comes good, orange puff of avatar dust, everything's good again. So it's taking about 1 second for that the new simulator to take all the scripts and that on board, which is pretty jolly good. Okay, now we're in this sim that we're in now is South Irukandji Sea. It's what InWorldz call a scenic region, which is sort of similar to open spaces in Second Life. So we're heading this sandbar that we're heading along now. It's about a kilometre long. I'm not going to record the whole time, so I'm not going to make you put up with that. But another sim crossing here. I just want to show you how the sim edges affect. I do notice with passengers you seem to get two little bumps as you go across the edge, whereas when you're on your own you usually just get one little bump. Now this here is interesting. It's also the first time the sandbar's ever been driven on, which, and you can see it's pretty round. We just went through between two sculpty prims there, crossing another sim edge, Savage Bay, and again it recovered quite quickly. Okay, we're out in the open ocean here, and we're going to hammer two sim edges really quickly. We just went across one, and we've just gone across another, and it's recovered again. So that was across sim corners from Manitou Sea into Tiamo Reef, which is the simulator that we're on now. Okay, we're going to come along here and we're going to do another sim corner crossing. There's a submarine up here somewhere, and it is a phantom, so I'm not terribly worried about it, but it's funny in virtual worlds, even though you know something's phantom, you still don't like going through it. Here we go. So again, another sim corner as we cross into Mount Aboyo and back again into Lagoon Door. And there's not a hell of a lot of chug there. That was pretty smooth. And the InWorldz gurus that I've spoken to have in the past said that it's you should leave 5 seconds or so between doing a double sim edge crossing, and we've just done a couple there in 1 or 2 seconds, and everything's still working nicely. So we're coming back to Octane Island. At this stage, this vehicle, now since Jenny and I first got in the car, about 15 minutes has elapsed, and we haven't dismounted, we haven't gotten out. Everything is going smooth as silk. You see the bum drag again then, and the cloud of orange avatar dust. That's all quite good. Now we're really going to give it a pounding here. We're up into 3rd gear. This vehicle's got a 5-speed box, but not a chance in hell you'd do 5th gear around this island. So it gets some good air, and we've really been hammering it, as I said. It's normally, like even in SL, you'll, here we go, physical object, collision. I'll mention here that the jittery photography is the Fraps recorder that I'm using, in this case that we're using. It really does generate a lot of viewer lag when you're recording. So that's got nothing to do with InWorldz or the scripting. It's purely Fraps. Now what this is, those fences, what I wanted to show this for, those are actually separate properties, so they're subdivided. So one thing I've noticed in InWorldz is when you cross a property line, not necessarily a region edge, but a property line, it has exactly the same delay and response as if you're crossing a region edge. So that new parcel of land has to take over the scripts just as if you're crossing a region edge. But you can really see this car's just flying along. It's after 15 minutes or so bouncing into physical objects, and it's crossed about 40 sim edges, and it's just lost nothing. I'm really, to be honest, I'm really very happy with this. This script is almost lifted directly out of one of my other vehicles in Second Life. I have had to modify it, some of the parameters for using it in InWorldz, but basically the standard LSL vehicle libraries inside this car. Yes, I basically tested the same script in Second Life just the other day, and it was, yeah, this is going as good if not better here. You'll see that bum drag there was again crossing a boundary. The root prim of this vehicle is my seat. Okay, so now we're jumping in another car. This was actually taken about a week ago, and just to... this isn't the best amphib in the world. This is a prototype, and you can see it's hovering a little bit high off the ground. But it's all been fixed since. But I just shot some good video with this, so I'm going to... I haven't bothered re-recording it. Going to look at some more interaction with physical objects and high-speed region crossings. I guess when I set out to make this video, I really wanted to see what it would take to break things. It's one of my passions in virtual worlds. It's one of the reasons I love virtual worlds is the motor vehicles. It's probably my big thing, even over developing land and that sort of thing. It's just so much fun. Okay, so we've got a region crossing here. Now the difference with this vehicle, essentially, it's got the same number of scripts as the Anzac. This little one's called an Otter. But there's only me in it, so I no longer have a passenger, so you would expect to see some difference in performance. So we're going to gun it here again. We're going across two region edges in a sec. We're in TMO Reef, just approaching Pinjarra Island. I've left the mini-map open in the corner there, so you can get an idea of how fast we're travelling. This is third gear, I believe. Okay, so we're going to go across a sim edge. Bang. And one more. Bang. So it wasn't too bad. I lost my hair there and it's come back, so that's fine. You'll notice my AO is turned off up there. I use the Vista AO. The only reason for that is I've found that it conflicts with the sit animation contained inside the script for the driver's seat. That one conflicts, and so does the built-in Firestorm AO. The only one that doesn't seem to conflict with it is the freebie InWorldz AO that you get at the Welcome Island. Okay, so now we're cranking this. We're really going to give it a good pounding. Third gear. Again, it's structurally or script-wise, it's the same as the Anzac. It's not as bulky, so you'd expect it to handle a little bit better. Now we're going to bounce around some beach balls, just briefly interact with some physical objects. I'm actually thinking of setting up some sort of sport, some new sport, like car snooker or something. I've been thinking about this for a while. That would be a lot of fun. Okay, and this island, I'll just mention if you're thinking of coming for a drive on it, I've actually moved everything you see here. This was recorded a week ago, but it's all gone now. I moved all of this over to Octane Island. So if you do want to go for a drive or just have a muck around with your vehicles and test them out, head over to Octane Island and yeah, knock yourself out, go crazy. Righto. So as you can see, the capabilities are all very similar to SL. What we're going to do now is head out to sea and just look at some region crossings and also the first thing we're going to do is a high-speed region crossing. Now I'm going to crank it up into 5th gear in a minute, and we're going to hit a region crossing really hard. And again, look at the mini-map in a moment once you see the gears pop up, and you'll see just how fast we're moving. Okay, so I'm just going to crank it through the gears. You can see that in the chat in the bottom corner there. So we're in 4th gear at the moment. This is a 5-speed. Again, we're on a scenic region. This is Pinjarra Shoals. And that's Palu Island up ahead. We were just running around the track. Okay, and we'll get it up into 5th now. So this is as fast as it goes. Look at that dot running around the mini-map in the top corner. That is going super fast. So we're going to slam it into Palu Island now and see what happens. Quick recovery. Bang. Back in Pinjarra Shoals. Still in top gear. That's really good. In my book, that's really good performance for any grid. I'm very happy with that. Okay, so we're going to head back now. I don't want to bore you to death, so we're just going to look at property lines. So this is Octane Island. It's heavily populated, but I've got these canals running down the side, and I've left the view property lines on there so you can see where the property lines are. As I said before, every time you cross a property line, it's very similar to crossing a region. So for sim owners or land barons, whatever you want to call yourselves, if you're making an island that where you're going to have public land meandering through private property, I'd recommend that you make those strips of public land at least 12 meters wide. Otherwise, you'll end up with the vehicle bouncing from one house to another just whenever it crosses a property line. Okay, so we're crossing another sim boundary here from Octane Island into Tomita Bay, which is another scenic region. This road begins to get shallower, and we'll go into 4x4 mode here. Okay, now there are a couple of subdivisions on this. So again, you'll see the property lines up here as we cross from one to another, and there's just that residual chunkiness as we cross it. Just here, you'll see the green line. Bang, and we just lose steering control for a second, slide into that rock. So yeah, this one up here really surprised me when I did it. This is coming up to Tomita Island. This is my main island, and it's where all the shopping is. There's so much scripting and everything on this island. It is a busy island, and often quite a few avatars. And it really doesn't. The sim edge crossing here was really quite good. I mean, you got that little bump, bang. I expected a lot worse. Also, while I think of it, these roads, when you're building your roads in InWorldz, they've modded, I believe, modded the qualities of stone as a material for your prim, and the recommendation is that you use stone for roads, and that emulates the ground best. They also suggest that you use stone or glass for your wheels, and if you're using cylinders, like my wheels are obviously cylinders, to encase them in spheres will make them, like a transparent sphere, will make them perform a bit better. I tried that option. I mean, I've made my wheels out of glass. I found that's actually the best for my application, at least. But I didn't end up using I tried it with the spheres, and I ended up getting rid of them. I'm finding the cylinders are quite good. Yeah, the spheres were just a little bit, I couldn't quite get the bounce right. Okay, so we're over another prim bridge here. This little area here, this is deliberately a terrible bit of road. I want it to be a real rough bush track. and we actually crossed three property boundaries here. It's a jagged property edge. So we're straight into one property, straight out of it, and straight out again. And again, we lose that little bit of steering control momentarily, then it all comes good again. So yeah, overall it's not too bad. I'm quite impressed. So here we are back, we're on Tomato Island. We're just going to go and park up the road here. And I'll let you get back to your cup of coffee. Right. Yeah, so this is Tomato Marina, which is our main marina in Irukandji. These boats on the right, they're made by another builder, Lem Recreant, who also, with me back in the old days in Second Life, used to make quite a few amphibious vehicles. Now here is another property line coming up this amphib ramp, and you'll see it just sort of lifts me over a bit, and again, that was just crossing a a property edge. But yeah, so it's all quite smooth. That's about it. I haven't got anything else to show you, but I hope it helps you see the capabilities of how InWorld's going. Again, I'm quite impressed, and it'll be great to see some other vehicle builders come in. Okay, thanks for sharing your time.